Don't just use one image texture for materials. Using roughness, normal, and other maps creates a more realistic material called a PBR material. You can use a cool node called Kuwahara in the compositing tab. This requires Blender 4.0 I think, but it does something really cool. Constantly hit Ctrl S to save your project. Use Ctrl A to apply scale for a bad bevel like this. Apply scale to fix bad UV unwrapping as well. If you want to copy modifiers from one object to another without manually doing it, select both and make sure the one you're copying from is orange. Hit Ctrl L, then copy modifiers. Gather reference for everything you model, as a little more work in the beginning makes everything much easier. Alt R, Alt G, and Alt S reset rotation, position, and scale respectively. If you have a bunch of modifiers you need to apply, just right click the object and under Convert to, hit Mesh. If you want to link a bunch of objects materials without doing it one by one, select all of them, with the last one being the one you want to copy from, making it orange. Next, hit Ctrl L and link materials. Get 3D models off the internet. It makes scene creation a lot faster. Hold Ctrl while moving an object to snap it. Hold Alt while pivoting to automatically go into orthographic views. Use keyboard shortcuts as much as you can. It makes modeling 10 times faster. Use the period key to change the pivot point in your scenes. This can be helpful when you're scaling or rotating something. Use the tilde key to change your view, which is especially helpful to pivot around an object. Combine Shift S and set origin to 3D cursor to change origins, usually to other objects' origins or the 3D cursor. Use the knife tool for precision cutting when modeling, but only when you know that your topology will stay even. If you don't know if it will, don't use it. Use the loop cut tool with Ctrl R to quickly add geometry loops around your model. Use proportional editing with O to make smooth organic changes to your model's shape. When modeling, try to keep all of your faces as quads. Not only is it good at practice, but it also makes it much easier later on to change anything. Also try to keep the number of edges meeting at each vertex the same. For example, every vertex on a subdivided cube has 4 edges connected to it, except for the corners. When making a light for a realistic scene, go to the shading tab and click Use Nodes and connect a black body node to the light node. Cycles has to be enabled for this to work, which makes sense because it helps with realism. Understand that while vector math seems confusing, it's just regular math with 3 sets of numbers instead of just 1. The next step is a pretty hefty one, but I promise if you stick around with it, you'll learn something pretty useful. For more photorealistic results, go to the Render tab and at the very bottom open Color Management. There you'll see a bunch of options, but the 3 I want to focus on are Exposure, Gamma, and View Transform. Gamma and Exposure can be used to change the contrast and brightness of your scene, but most important of all, View Transform changes a lot. Set it to false color, for example. Here in my scene, I'll adjust the exposure and gamma until a good portion of the model becomes green, which means it's at the right level. Here you kind of have to eyeball it, but as you do it more, you'll get the hang of it. But now you have 2 options. When Blender 4.0 came out, they added a new View Transform, AGX, which I think is the default. If I switch to it, you can see that it does look pretty good by default. But there's another option that might look better. Instead of AGX, if you select Filmic Log, your scene will become pretty washed out. To fix that, just change Look to a different contrast level, which helps. With both AGX and Filmic Log, the right choice really just depends on the scene. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the shorter ones. If you've been rotating your camera manually, you don't need to. Instead, hit N to access this toolbar, and under View, hit Camera to View, and go into Camera View to move it by looking around. If you want a different way to look for a good camera angle, go under View at the top up here, and under Navigation, select Walk Navigation. Using WASD, you can move around like in a video game. You can use Shift G to select objects with the same material by selecting Color. Similarly, you can use other options as well. For example, you can select every mesh in the scene with a selected mesh and type. If the project you're working on gets corrupted or something like that where it's basically unusable, there's a pretty simple fix. Just rename the .blend1 file wherever you saved it to .blend, and you should be able to open that and recover everything. Hit Alt E to get more extrusion options when extruding faces. Similar to earlier, Shift G comes in handy, but this time in edit mode. If you select a face, you can hit Shift G and select normals, and any face that's facing the same way as your face will be selected. This one's pretty well known, but if you hit a key that corresponds to an axis while rotating, scaling, or moving, Blender will perform that operation along that axis. Also, while transforming an object, you can hold Shift and hit the key of the axis you don't want to adjust, changing the object on every axis except for that one. If you need to mirror an object, hit Ctrl M and the key of the axis you want to mirror along. You can manually change the location of the 3D cursor by going to the View tab, which can be helpful for setting object's origin. You can manually change the location of the 3D cursor by hitting Shift S and cursor to selected, which can be helpful for setting object's origin. You can move any objects you have selected into a new collection with the M key. Now you only need to select one, and with Shift G again, you can hit collection, selecting everything in that collection. On top of that, you can hit Shift A to add and go to the bottom with the collection instance to create a duplicate of your collection. This is a much better way to duplicate things, specifically objects with high face counts like trees or really detailed models, because it doesn't actually treat them like an object. The face count, for example, does not go up at all. To keep getting good at Blender content, hit that subscribe button. Download the Node Wrangler add-on. It saves so much time when making materials. If you've made or downloaded a model that only has cycles, you can select every face with A, right click, and select tries to quads. If you want to connect two faces, instead of using some complicated fix, just select both of them, right click, and select bridge faces. If you're modeling with a circular face and want to have all quads, you can just delete that face, select all the edges, and hit Ctrl F. There, hit grid fill, and like magic, Blender will fill it with quads. If you want to rotate it, just adjust the offset slider down here at the bottom. If you have an edge loop that you don't want, there's a really easy to fix to get rid of it. Just select it and right click. Once you select dissolve edges, it should magically disappear. You can do the same thing with vertices. Here I've cut this edge so that there's a vertice where there shouldn't be one. To fix that, just right click and select to dissolve vertices. When using cycles, if you have a dedicated GPU in your computer, go under render engine in the render tab and select GPU compute. If you haven't yet linked your GPU, go to edit, then preferences and find system. At the top, if you have an NVIDIA GPU, select it under optics. And if you have a Radeon GPU, sorry, but I don't know which one it is. If you have a pretty fast computer, to further enhance surface details, you can use something called a displacement map. By adding the displacement modifier and connecting your displacement map, your object will deform according to the brightness of the image. Just make sure you subdivide your object a lot or it won't work very well. And for the second to last tip, to achieve an even higher form of realism, you should be lighting your scenes with an HDRI or EXR file. For the final tip, I recommend watching this video next to see how to use an HDRI and get even more helpful Blender content.